Hi friends, camanickamrm here. In this video, we are going to see what are the implications of the recently introduced GST tax on residential units rented by a GST registered person. As per the new levy, if a GST registered person has rented a residential unit, then on the face of it, they are liable to portion which is used by you as your office. It could be for anything, so in case if it is used as an office for business purpose, then you have to discharge it on reverse charge basis. And since it is used for a business purpose, you always have this liberty of claiming it as an ITZ. When you charge GST to your customers, and you can claim the ITC in the electronic ledger. So this is the position now. Supposing even if you you are a company or a corporate, then you take the residential houses in the company's name as per the agreement and give it to your employees for their residential purposes. In these cases also, you have to pay GST on reverse charge basis, and of course, since it is for the business purpose, you can claim that as your ITC. Now, the issues might come up that some officer might deny that since it is used by the employees for their personal use, ITC may not be available. These sort of issues may crop up in the future. Now, we will see what could be the grounds of defense in those cases if such issues crop up. That will be seen in the later part of the video. Now, so most of the cases, since the registered persons can pay these GST on reverse charge basis and claim the ITC, there should not be issues. The issues will come up only when the ITC is denied or some notice is given that since you have a PAN registered in your own name for your and then the same PAN is given for GSTN, and you have not paid GST on the house which you have rented with this PAN. If you get such notices, then you have to give your explanation that this rent which I am paying is being used for personal purpose, and then there is a PAB fact check which is given by the government that in case it is used for residential purpose by the sole proprietor or partner of a partnership firm, then they need not pay the GST on reverse charge basis. But then this PAB fact check doesn't have much legal standing, as I've already explained. So we will see what are the other legal defenses which we can have. So this is one possibility. There could be another possibility, like supposing you pay the GST on safer side, because for the registration threshold under GST is if your for services if your turnover crosses 20 lakhs. But then in certain cases, even if your turnover doesn't crosses 20 lakhs, you may have to register either voluntarily or in certain circumstances, like you have to discharge compulsorily certain reverse charge basis. On reverse charge basis, you may have to pay some GST, or you may be supplying some items through an e-commerce operator. In those cases, you may be required to register under GST mandatorily. So even in those cases, as long as you can pay the GST on reverse charge basis and you can claim it on claim the ITC, there should not be any issues. The issue will crop up, like supposing there is a contention by some of the officers of GST that since this residential property is being used by you for residential purpose, it is for a personal purpose, so GST ITC will not be extended. So there could be a contention on that part. or even if it is partly used, they may say that that part we may not allow because it's being used for personal purpose. Similarly, if a company provides pays GST on reverse charge basis for the residential accommodation given to its employees, they may say that no, the residential accommodation used by the employees is not in the course of furtherance of business, so we may not allow the ITC. So these sort of issues might crop up. Now, in those cases, how we can defend? Let us see. Number one. Now, GST, the taxable event in GST is supply. Now, if you see the definition of supply as per section 7(1) of the CGST Act, supply includes any forms of supply of goods or services like sale, exchange, barter, lease, rental, license, made for a consideration by a person in the course or furtherance of business. That is very important. So we have to see whether this supply has been made in the course or furtherance of business. Now, if you see the RCM notification generally, just you might see that those RCM reverse charge things, it is taxable event, like the goods supplied by GTA or the services provided by a lawyer. These are all taxable GST services. Leave apart the exemption thing, threshold exemption, but otherwise these are all taxable services. So now instead of the supplier bearing the tax burden, it is being shifted to the receiver of the service on reverse charge basis. So even for RCM, the original transaction should be taxable. Now if you take the letting out of residential properties, it doesn't fall within the definition of business as per GST. A person giving a house on residential house for rent, for residential use, normally it doesn't fall within the definition of business given in GST. What is the definition of business? Definition of business as per section 217 of CGST Act. It is like any trade or commerce or manufacture, profession or vocation, or adventure or wager or any other similar activity made by a person, whether or not for a pecuniary benefit. So if you take it, this giving a residential house for a residential purpose doesn't fall within this. It's not a trade, it's not commerce, it's not business, profession, vocation. So so in all these cases, it's not a business. Normally, it is in the, like an investment. Only if it's a passive income generated by the property. Only if the owner of the property makes some changes actively, like for a cinema theater, he changes the structure or makes some arrangements so that when he gives the property, it becomes a commercial property. So there's an active intention and activity by the owner of the property to earn business income. But for a normal residential use given for a residential purpose, there is no business intention. Even if it is used by the receiver, partly used for official purposes, maybe some part is used for office, that doesn't show that it is given as for a business intention. So it doesn't fall, it's not given in the supply, is not made in the course of or furtherance of business. So in this case, the original activity itself doesn't fall within the definition of supply. So it is not taxable. So it's called colorable legislation. What you can't do directly, you can't do it indirectly. So if you can't tax it directly, you can't tax it indirectly through RCM, reverse charge basis, because the original transaction itself is questionable whether it is taxable, because it is not made, the supply is not made in the course of business. This is one ground. Further, this can be analyzed like in income tax, the definition of business is almost similar. So even there, the house property given on rent is on most cases treated as rental income from house property and not treated as income from business. For treating it as income from business, they want something more like there is some activity from the owner or intention from the owner to give it as a commercial property, like they make some changes so that they want to earn a business income. So if you treat the same property, income from the same property as per Income Tax Act as from income from house property, and the same property income here, if it is treated as business income made in the course of business for the purpose of GST, then there is this will not stand in the face of Article 14 of the Constitution of India, because it is not equal and it's arbitrary. So this stand may not be accepted at all. So in that case, that is one challenge. Second thing is, supposing a big businessman, he has a company, so the GST registration would be in the company's name, and if he hires a property, even though it's costlier, for a residential use in his own PAN number, he need not pay GST because he is not registered in GST with his own PAN. But a small trader, maybe he might be paying something rent around 5,000, 10,000 per month. Since he has taken the GST registration in the own PAN name, he has to pay GST now. So in this case, it's a clear discrimination and it's arbitrary. So again, Article 14 of Indian Constitution may be attracted, and the test, it may not stand the test for Article 14. Third thing is, the recent GST Council, the 47th GST Council, had proposed to tax any rental, any revenue collected by lodges for a single day, if it is less than 7,500. Then the previous GST was 5%, now they have made it as 12%. But then, a poor trader who is using a building for residential and office purpose for throughout the month, if he paying rent of some small rent of like say 10,000 rupees per month, he has to pay 18% GST. Now this is clear disparity, and so in that case, again it will not stand the test of Article 14 of the Constitution of India. So in all these cases, again the levy seems to be arbitrary if you are taking Article 14 of the Constitution of India. So these will arise, only if you have issues, like if as long as you can pay the GST and claim it as ITC, nobody is going to bother, and it's going to go smoothly. Only thing is the end consumer will have to pay more. Otherwise government will get the revenue, so the ultimate impact will be on the end consumer, since this is GST. But you will have issues, supposing you get a notice saying that, see, you have to pay GST in this case on reverse charge basis, but you have not paid. Or you get a notice saying that you can't claim this ITC because it's a personal expense, but you have claimed ITC, so this ITC will not be allowed. So in these cases, litigation will arise, and so we may have to face it as per the business prudence, and then these could be the line of defenses in those cases. This is just to give you a brief of how what will be the impact, and how we can face it in case we have any litigations in this issue. So this is the purpose of this video. If you like this video, kindly subscribe, do like it, and share it with your friends and relatives. Thank you.